Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Workers' Voices, the talk show where we delve into challenges faced by working parents in today's world. Today, we have a special scenario featuring a father and a mother who will share their experiences and shed light on how the economic situation and traffic have impacted on their lives. Let's please give a warm welcome to our first guest is Pastor Itwa, a hardworking father of three, and joining him is Mrs. Arokoyo, a dedicated mother balancing her career with family responsibilities. Welcome, Pastor Itwa and Mrs. Arokoyo.
Hello.
Thank you. It's my pleasure being here.
To begin, let's explore challenges faced by Pastor Itwa as a working father. How has the economic situation impacted on your ability to provide for your family?
Thank you for inviting me here. Quickly, the economic situation impacting everyone is something that one really needs to be mindful of, because when you talk about the economy, it affects everyone regardless of who you are. And how has this impacted me as a father, also as a pastor, is number one, you discover that suddenly the inflation of things have really gone up. And one begins to think, how do you cope with the changing economic situation? Not to talk about the traffic and other things. But I would just say that it has had its toll on everyone. And we only wish that we begin to plan ourselves adequately so that regardless of what happens, we are able to surmount the pressure this economic situation and the traffic in our own community has created for us. So along the line, we'll be able to put in more light in what I have just said. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Can you describe a specific instance where traffic on the station has affected your ability to fulfill your motherly duties or spend time with your family?
Oh yes, Lagos is a busy place and everybody knows, and we keep talking and thinking how to make things better in Lagos State. Yeah, I remember vividly a period when I was on my way from work and my husband was like, oh, this traffic is so bad and better go to your sister's place and then go and sleep there. And I'm like, a mother, I've left home till like 5:30 a.m. in the morning and I have to go and sleep in my sister's place just because of traffic. So, but I made sure I was talking to my daughter, and around 11, I left, and I think I got home around 1 a.m. Of course, she's already slept off, and I felt very bad about it, but then I couldn't help it.
Wow.
Thank you.
What traffic has done? What steps do you take to prioritize your work responsibilities while being present for your children?
Okay, talking about priority, you see, in such an environment, if you really do not prioritize, it is important that your priorities, number one, is setting boundaries. Two, planning adequately. Three, communication in such a way that when you need to be around your family and to also engage in your work, you need to engage in these three particular things I've just mentioned. You need to plan, adequate planning. Communication is key. When I say boundaries, you need to know when. Sometimes a working father can be home and yet not be home. So it is important that you are home. When you are home, giving the time I need to give to my children, my spouse, and also any other thing that I need to do. Don't forget, at work, my time is also needed. So it's very, very important that we prioritize in all that we do.
Amazing. How do you maintain a healthy work-life balance and ensure you have quality time with your children despite the challenges?
Oh yes, so maintaining work-life balance is something as a mother that I must ensure is constantly maintained. So what I do in the morning when I go to work, of course, she must still be sleeping. I have two kids. The other one she's a mother. So what I do is when I look at time, it's around 7:30. 7 that I put the call through to ensure that I speak with her to know how she's faring, how she's doing, what she's taking before going to school and all of that. And immediately she's back from school, I also speak with her before I get home. And I try as much as possible to ensure that I get home early as much as possible. And luckily for me, where I work, my office encourages work-life balance. So I don't go to work every day. So anytime I'm home, I ensure that I participate and I'm fully involved with that. Thank you.
You're welcome. In your opinion, what support or changes would make it easier for working fathers like yourself to fulfill their parental responsibilities?
First and foremost, I like the point Madam made, where you have a career or a job that supports a family life balance. That is very key. When you have such an environment, then you are good to go. Secondly, you need a teamwork with your spouse, whereby, because without a teamwork, the burden will be on the father so much, knowing fully well that the responsibility of a father is just more than providing. The father is the coach. He must create time to coach and to train. The father is a nurturer. He must create time to support the mom. So it is important to have a good support from your spouse, your career, your place of work, and most importantly, I need the support of the Almighty God to succeed. Without Him, I am nothing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have you encountered any difficulties in finding affordable and reliable childcare options due to the economic situation?
Oh yes, so that has also become a challenge. You hear people that we engage to work for us at home, and they are telling you practically what is happening in the country, and making them to realize that things have changed, and things have changed. We can't collect the same salary we collect, and then you begin to search. And eventually, luckily, I'll be able to get some. But what I do most importantly, as they grow, things that you feel that a child of 8 years, 9 years cannot do. Today, you also make them be able to adapt to it and then make changes where it's actually necessary. And most importantly, at home, you look at what is the most needed and the most desired. So you pick the most needed. So childcare is very important. So you prioritize that above all other needs at home.
You're welcome. How do you cope with the stress and pressure of providing your family for amidst the challenges economic situation?
A very good question. Let me put it this way. First and foremost, it's important to know where you are, what you have. Now, having that knowledge will actually help you to plan. One of the things that we had to do amidst all these economic challenge, number one is evaluate what we have. Evaluate, I repeat, to evaluate what you have. Number two is to manage what you have. Number three is to make sure that you avoid waste. In the midst of this, it is also important as a father, because inflation is going on, prices are increasing, but your income is fixed if you're a man of one career. So it is important for you to look inwards and ask yourself, what else can you do? You need to increase your streams of income. I believe that every man should have nothing less than 4 streams of income, whereby you are able to balance up the things going on in your family. Then let me just add this one point, which will help, so that in the midst of what we're going through, learn to purchase in wholesale, in bulk, rather than buy things in retail. When you are able to buy in bulk, you have a good storage system. It will minimize the cost of what you actually do right there at home. And most importantly, manage what you have and depend on God for other ideas in whatever it is that you are doing.
Thank you. Yes, you must manage what you have. Have you ever considered alternative career paths or additional sources of income to mitigate the effects of the economic situation?
Oh yes, I mean, what is happening currently makes everybody to think better. So yeah, other sources of income like you can also make investment options, which I do. I mean, after my salary, if I pick what is necessary, I didn't make mention of something when I was speaking the other time. I spoke to looking at what is necessary and what is desired. Oh yes, you desire to take your children out every weekend, possibly you desire to plan for birthday, you do that. But there are other things that are necessary than that. So I picked the necessary and I leave the desired. Desired is as when the opportunity comes. So talking about other streams of income, okay, so I do investment options. I look at what I can invest in at the end of the month as I'm taking my salary. I also get investment income. You can do like some 30 days investment, 60 days investment, 90 days. We are planning for school fees, for example. So that has also been of great help to me as a family woman.
Absolutely. How do you communicate with your employer about challenges you face as a father due to the economic situation and traffic?
My view on that is quite different. My employer is God. The reason I said so is because, when you're working with people, yes, talking about the structure in organization, yes, it's important you communicate with your bosses, communicate with them the way things are, so that they will understand and see how they can find a way out or support financially or economically in whatever it is that you do. Like Madam mentioned earlier on, you can have a place, instead of going to work 5 times in a week, your boss can decide to say, well, due to the cost of transport and other things, come 2 or 3 times in a week. That is one way. For me as a pastor, when challenges begins to come like this, I begin to talk to my Heavenly Father, please, you need to help me, because before I even go to my boss to communicate, go and touch his heart so that things will be well. So oftentimes, even before I present it, I see my senior pastor talking about the issues. She's very concerned. She's aware of what is happening, and she tries to make a way to see how every one of us are happy in spite of the economic situation. And one thing she loves to do is to see that every family, as a ministry or as a staff, there is food, which is very key. So it is important we communicate cordially so that it will not be a burden on both sides. Once you are having challenge in that area, you might end up affecting your own job.
Thank you. Can you share any strategies or tips that has helped you navigate the financial implications of the economic situation as a mother?
Oh, great. So I was just looking at where Pastor was talking about you buying notices and all retail. And I'm like, oh, this is a man talking. You understand? So because when you buy notices, one, you buy cheaper. Again, you have a lot at home. Then when you're cooking, you just realize, oh, my tomatoes is finishing, all of that. So it's important we buy in notices and stock, especially with the changes in prices. You hear today, price of Milo is 5,000, for example. Tomorrow it become 5,200. But if you bought in notices, at least you are sure that you're still going to take it for maybe a whole month or even 2 months, depending on what you've taken. So it's a good strategy. I adopt that. Also, like I said, you look at what is desired and what is necessary. What is necessary is what you go for. It's necessary, everybody must eat at home. It's necessary, this must happen. But you talk of Christmas clothes. Christmas clothes, I can tell my daughter, we are going to use the same Christmas clothes we used last year or previous year. So, I mean, I look at what is necessary, which I follow, and the desired, I just drop until when it's absolutely convenient.
Pastor Itwa, do you have anything to add to what she said?
You see, when she used the word Christmas clothes, I laughed because as a child growing up, Christmas clothes is our priority. As if when you go to markets, you say, I want Christmas clothes. So I think along the line, our parents begin to educate us. If I remember growing up, suddenly you'll be looking for a particular cloth of yours, you will not find it. Not knowing that daddy has removed it and kept it for the next person. You understand that kind of? So Christmas cloth for me, the next Christmas, suddenly I'll see my other brother's cloth that I said, this is the one you are going to use. You have no choice. Why? Because we have to manage that which we have. See, we must, I like the word she keep using, desirable and what do you call the one?
Necessary.
And necessary. Most of us are going for want. God did not promise us want. He said he will supply our what? Our needs. So let's really take note of that. It's very key.
Now, your question. What sacrifices have you done as a father due to the economic situation and traffic? And how do you manage the emotional impacts?
Okay. One of the sacrifices, like I talked about wholesale, I make out time to go to the market with my wife to my 12. And those days, I know that day is off. Support her because it's a long journey from here to that point. Wait for her in the car. I remember one day she asked me to quick, please, can you buy yam before I come? I was angry. I did not buy that yam. She said, why didn't you buy? I said, how can you be selling at such ridiculous price? She laughed and said, that is what they go through. And actually, we need to put our hands together for our mothers, our wives, for what they do for us. They are great managers of resources. So that's one of the sacrifices. Secondly, I forfeit certain things. For example, maybe I'm supposed to get some things for myself. When I remember that the children's school fee has not been paid, I forgo those things just for them to keep going. And much more. How much can we say with the time we have? But it's important that we are focused on the, give me that word again, ma?
Necessities.
Necessity than just feeling, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Just like Pastor Itwa said, let's give a round of applause for our mothers out there. How do you envision a future where the economic situation and traffic no longer hinder working mothers from fulfilling their parental responsibilities?
Oh yeah, so as a Christian, we all look for the best, and then we keep praying for the best to come, as we can even experience on our roads now. Now it's inconveniencing all of us because of traffic and all of that. But of course, at the end of the day, by the time they are done, all of us will enjoy it. So we look for brighter future for Nigeria. And again, the present economic challenges have taught us a lot of things. So in families where you have 2 or 3 cars, or your husband wants to take a car, I want to take a car. When you look at the price of fuel, look at the traffic, you just decide, let's work our time together and ensure we go with a car. That we practice in my house today, and that is really helping. So I mean, it makes all of us to think better and think of ways. All of us are strategizing, and this is what the economy is teaching us. And of course, it's sustainable if all of us agree to think through and then follow. It's a time of rethinking, and it's really helping all of us. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing good ideas and experiences during this economic and traffic situation. But I just have something to say. Do you have any word of advice or encouragement for people who are not being fatherly or motherly or taking their motherly or fatherly duties like you?
Okay, I have a very sound advice to fathers. Number 1, every father is a priest. 2, every father is a coach, a nurturer. Every father is a leader. And most importantly, every father is an example. So it is important that fathers have this knowledge that 2 are better than 1. With that mentality, if you have, I use the word if, because sometimes we could have single father. But at this point, let's talk about father who is with their spouse. As a father with your spouse, it is important you communicate. I repeat, communicate, so that both of you with one vision will be able to achieve whatever it is you have for the family. Let me use this word. You know, let me give you a scripture, for example, in Genesis chapter 11, is God speaking. He said, these people, they are what? One. And there is nothing that can restrain what they want to do. So the power of unity in families will overcome every economic and any other challenge you might face. Unity. I repeat, unity. Where there's unity, you'll be able to curb waste. A father will not be buying bread, failing to communicate with the wife. The wife also buys bread. So what do you think will happen? That is a leakage. So the power of unity at such a time as this. Please, Father, go home early and don't spend those money. I use that word. Don't spend it with friends, because when you are having challenge, they will not be there for you. Thank you.
Now, Mrs. Zara, do you have any words of encouragement for people who are not doing their motherly duties well?
Okay, so let me borrow the pastor's word. The pastor keep mentioning about nurturing. So I'm being a nurturer. So I call the father the acquirer, because it is through them by the grace of God that children, are brought through us. So I call the mothers the nurturers. If you're a nurturer, you have to be available. You have to plan it to ensure that you are. It's like you plant something, you have to nurture it for it to grow. So while the father is out there doing the work and we're doing the support as much as we can financially, you have to be there. We have to plan our world. We have to plan our life to be available for the family, because these children we're talking about, they are our future. So we must plan and ensure they are there. And he keeps talking about how to ensure we manage and we are very prudent at home. So it's that time for us as mothers that we think twice. I don't need to buy anything I don't really need anymore. If I have clothes at home for 6 months, I've not worn it. Why am I thinking of buying another one?
Definitely.
I should be buy, I should be do that. Most time necessarily buy her. Talk about makeup. If you go for makeup today, you're going to spend like 10,000, 15,000 doing makeup. Do I really need it? Oh yes, do I really need it? So I can even check online and see how I can do my makeup myself and then look beautiful. So all of these things are very important and we must rethink all the time.
Thank you both for sharing your insights, words of encouragement and experiences. We love you both and your words of honesty. And we hope that this traffic and economic situation gets better for both of you.
Thank you.
And thank you, our viewers, for watching. See you next time. We love you. Bye.